Have you ever wondered why repetition is crucial in the teaching-learning process? Let's dive in. Repetition, it's a word that can sometimes make us sigh, especially when we think about the endless times we've had to repeat a task until we get it right. Yet, repetition in teaching is not about mindless rote learning. It's about creating a pattern, a rhythm that aids memory retention and enhances comprehension. It's about helping our brain to strengthen the connections between neurons, make them more efficient, and thereby solidify the knowledge. This process is known as consolidation. So, if you've been under the impression that repetition is boring or redundant, let's adjust that lens. See it as the mind's gym, where ideas are not just learned, but also worked out and strengthened. So remember, repetition, when done right, isn't merely rote learning, but a powerful tool to drive home concepts. So, how can educators effectively use repetition in their teaching methods? Firstly, it's crucial to revisit topics periodically. Remember, repetition doesn't mean monotonously rehashing the same content. Instead, revisit a topic from different angles, explore its various facets, and connect it to other relevant subjects. This approach not only reinforces the material, but also enhances students' understanding of the topic's broader context. Secondly, using different teaching methods for the same concept is another powerful strategy. For instance, today you might explain a concept through a lecture, tomorrow you could use a group discussion, and the day after, perhaps a hands-on experiment. This variety keeps the learning process engaging while reinforcing the same concept through different modes of learning. Thirdly, don't underestimate the power of practice exercises. Whether it's math problems, language drills, or science experiments, consistent practice helps students to internalize concepts, making them second nature. Moreover, practice exercises provide a tangible measure for both teacher and students to gauge understanding and progress. Now, let's not forget about the role of repetition in memory retention. The human brain is wired to remember things that are repeated. Think about it. How many times did you stumble over your own name when you were a toddler? Probably quite a few. But through repetition, it became so ingrained that you don't even have to think about it now. The same principle applies to learning new concepts. Repetition helps to move information from short-term memory to long-term memory, making recall easier and faster. But remember, repetition in teaching isn't about mindless parroting. It's about thoughtful reinforcement of key concepts, providing ample opportunities for practice, and presenting information in diverse and engaging ways. It's about creating a learning environment where students feel empowered to explore, question, and understand. Implementing these strategies can make repetition a game changer in your teaching methodology. But what exactly happens in our brains when we repeat information? Well, it's all about how our minds work. When we learn something new, our brains form a neural pathway. This pathway initially is quite weak, but each time we revisit that information, the pathway strengthens. This is like a trail in the woods. The more it's walked, the clearer it becomes. Repetition essentially helps this neural path become a mental highway, allowing information to flow more freely and efficiently. This is how long-term memories are formed. It's not about cramming information in one go, but revisiting it periodically. This is a principle deeply rooted in cognitive psychology. The beauty of repetition is that it not only helps us remember, but it also allows us to understand. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Each repetition adds another piece, making the picture clearer. Understanding the science behind repetition can help us appreciate its significance in teaching and learning. And now, for the most crucial point about repetition in teaching. Let's delve into the realm of mastery learning, a concept that hinges on repetition. Mastery learning is the idea that students should fully understand a topic before moving on to the next. It's a means of achieving a high level of competence in a subject matter. Now, how does repetition play into this? Well, it's simple. Repetition allows students to revisit the same concepts, principles, or skills, reinforcing their understanding each time. By doing so, it ensures that the knowledge is deeply embedded in their minds, enabling them to apply it effectively in different contexts. In essence, repetition forms the bedrock of mastery learning. It's not just about rote learning or memorization, but about gaining a solid, comprehensive understanding. It's about transforming the superficial into the substantial, the fleeting into the permanent. Repetition, therefore, is not just about remembering, but about mastering. To sum up, repetition isn't just a teaching tool, it's a cornerstone of effective learning. We've explored the potency of repetition, various strategies for weaving it into your lessons, the fascinating science that underpins it, and its pivotal role in mastery learning. Each of these elements reinforces the other, painting a compelling picture of why repetition is so crucial. Remember, the art of teaching lies in repeating without becoming repetitive. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more insightful content.